Hi friends, welcome to Books and Crafts. My name is Martyna and welcome to my very first book haul. I have quite a stack of books here to the side. All of them, I believe, are fantasy or sci-fi, and if you can see, I also have a puppy here. She really wants to be in this video, and so if you see her little head popping up, then please don't be surprised. But I am so very excited about this video. Now, I don't buy that many physical books. I try to be quite conscious about it because here in Poland, where I live, books in English are really expensive, and also I don't have that many options to unhaul books. I don't have very many libraries that would take books that are in English or used bookstores and such. So I really try to be conscious about what I'm getting and what I'm adding to my physical collection. Still, it doesn't always work out. Sometimes hype gets to me and I have to get a given book even if I'm not sure if I'm going to love it, and so we will see some books like that in this video. But without further ado, let's start with the books. And so the first two books that I have here are The Obelisk Gate and The Stone Sky, both by N.K. Jemisin. These are book 2 and 3 of the Broken Earth trilogy, and the first one is the 5th season. I've already read the 5th season. I have loved it so much. This is definitely one of my favorite books of the year so far, and also one of the most unique fantasy or sci-fantasy stories that I've ever read. And so in this trilogy we are following three characters, three women who live in this very harsh, very difficult world, which every few hundreds of years try to destroy itself in a natural catastrophe, and we are following them navigating the difficulties of this world, as well as they all are the magic users in this world, and so we see through their perspective how magic users are treated. And this deals with themes of environmental change. And it is also a story that definitely takes a little bit of time to get used to the writing style. It's beautiful, it's so on point, but it's definitely a little bit confusing at first. However, if you just stick with it, if you give it a try, it's going to be so worth it at the end. And so I am very much anticipating getting to The Obelisk Gate, which is book 2. And the next two books that I have to talk about are those rushed decisions that I maybe not have thought through that well, but I'm not going to regret anything, and that is the first two books in the Dandelion Dynasty by Ken Liu. We have The Grace of Kings and The Wall of Storms. And I wouldn't usually get two books if I haven't yet read the first one, which, as you will see, is not true about another pair of books in this haul, but I would usually just get the first book, see if I enjoyed it, and then go on with the series, and if not, I would just stop. But with these, I have heard so many incredible things about book 2. I've heard that The Grace of Kings book 1 is pretty much a prequel to this story, and that the story gets so much bigger and so much more epic and so much better pretty much in The Wall of Storms. The Wall of Storms is also a lot of people's favorite, or one of the favorites of the year so far. So I decided if I'm going to try The Grace of Kings, I may as well try both of these and see for myself. So this is a Chinese-inspired fantasy story, historical fantasy. It is retelling actual events from Chinese history, and I believe in this first one we are following two characters. One of them is a bandit and the other one is a son of a deposed duke, and they form an unlikely friendship. However, when the emperor of this world dies, they find themselves as leaders of the opposing political factions. So it's supposed to be very political. And recently I have been really enjoying reading Asian inspired fantasy, or in general non-European inspired fantasy. So I am very much looking forward to this one. Then I have one of my favorite book purchases of this year so far, and that is the Polish hardcover copy of The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson, book 1 in the Mistborn trilogy, and I love this copy so much. I love the cover art, I love Vin with those glass daggers, and the mist cloak looks so fun. Book 2 and 3 also have interesting and pretty cover art, and what's characteristic about Polish books or books that are printed in Poland in hardcover is that the art is printed directly on the hardcover. We don't usually use, or at all, I think, dust jackets. So that's something I really love. I love the bookmark, the ribbon bookmark, and it's all in all it's a beautifully made book, and so I'm happy to have it because Mistborn is one of my favorite trilogies. It's what got me to reading adult fantasy, and so because most of my friends in real life read in Polish, I am looking forward to lending this out and to kind of getting them to love Brandon Sanderson as much as I do. And the next couple of books are again, maybe I should have stuck with buying just one, but I got two just in case, and that is Malice and Valor by John Gwynne. These are books 1 and 2 in his The Faithful and the Fallen quartet, and I don't know much about these, that's why I'm thinking maybe I should have just got one, but I loved The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne, and I've heard such excellent things about this series. This is supposed to be an epic fantasy with tropes such as the Chosen One and prophecy. I love a good epic classical fantasy. This next book, I have heard mixed reviews about it, and so I'm not sure if I'm going to love it, but I'm very happy to have it in my collection and to give it a try. It's also such a stunning book, and it is Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sue Lynn Tan. And I think this is again, my lights are kind of making this look like a real moon, I guess. But this book is supposed to be a retelling of a Chinese story of the moon goddess. However, in this retelling she has a daughter, and when the moon goddess is kidnapped, I believe we are following her daughter, who goes to the celestial kingdom and tries to find out what happened to her mother. I hear it's a beautiful whimsical tale. I hear that there is a love triangle, which I'm not so sure about usually, but it's supposed to be done very, very well. And again, I have been really enjoying Asian inspired fantasy stories this year, so I'm very excited about this. Also, it's such a stunning cover, and I'm very, very happy to have it in my collection. And the last book on this list, and it is one I got the most recently, is Demon in White by Christopher Rocchio. This is the third book in his Sun Eater series, which starts with The Empire of Silence and then The Howling Dog, and I am almost done at this point with The Howling Dog. I love it. I love this series so much, and so I definitely want to continue with book 3, given that I am almost done with book 2 and it is fantastic. So in this series we are following Hadrian, who at the beginning of the story tells us that he is now called a Sun Eater. He murdered billions of people, he destroyed planets, a whole alien race. Now he wants to write his life story so that maybe we can read it and judge him ourselves. And we are following Hadrian on such an epic journey. There is so much to love about this book. There is amazing world building, there is such attention to detail when it comes to creating this world and creating the alien races. We have a lot of focus on language and history and culture. There is an archaeological mystery involved. Christopher Rocchio's prose is so beautiful. I love Hadrian as the main character. I don't always agree with him, but I think he's an incredibly well-written character and also such an interesting character to follow. So I definitely recommend this series, and I am very much looking forward to this third book. And so that was all of the books that I had to share with you today. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments if you've maybe read any of those and what you thought about it, or what was some books that you hold most recently. I would love to know. I would love to chat with you in the comments, and I would appreciate if you subscribe to my channel and liked this video, and I will see you very soon in the next one. Bye guys!